Alright, got another game here in the round of 64, the CiC Qualifiers. As we've gotten on the Baguette Reborn, aka Clan Baguette, taking on Willowkeeper. Obviously, Willowkeeper AT we should probably recognize because they were in the Hunter season playoffs. They were in Diamond Division for a bit. And part of these hero players, I believe, are part of the old Ready for a Miracle team. Boxall on the Hellborn side playing the Brown position. Probably the guy that you most likely recognize because he did some pretty crazy stuff on Honcast, the Haunter Season 2 playoffs with that Sir Bensington. Really helped Bensington become one of the more prominent suicides in the metagame. And they haven't banned him, so we'll see if we get this picked up. But Tree, generally a team that I like a lot, actually, because I think Fusion's got some really good draft strats. I think he's got some good playing strats. I'm assuming he's the one that makes those calls. Obviously, he's in the captain position, so that may or may not be the case, but anyway. We should get started, though, because his bans and picks are going like crazy. Ophelia, Warbeast, Puppet Master, and Kronos. Nothing crazy there, really. Ophelia, not super common as the initial ban anymore, but certainly still a powerful hero. Warbeast, interesting that he gets taken out so early on. Really, the Legion side trying to limit the jungle options for the Hellborn team, and doing so somewhat effectively. Perhaps other heroes I would target before Warbeast, but Warbeast is still a strong hero. And their first three picks are Engineer, Pharaoh, and Moon Queen, so perhaps looking for some strong initiation into some solid team fights here. Both Moon Queen and Engineer dropping excellent ultis. And honestly, this looks like a lineup from like 2 or 3 months ago. If 2 or 3 months ago you could say, you know, yeah, we're going to start out with NG, Pharaoh, and Moon Queen, and be like, holy crap, you just won, good job. Since then, not as common. Engineer, probably not going to be the babysit here for Moon Queen in the solo bottom lane. I would suspect we'll see a Suicide Pharaoh, NG, and some other initiator in middle, and then a nice better zoning support for the mid lane for the Moon Queen. As a result, I'd like to see Fusion ban out some of those zoners. Empath, probably chief among them. Aluna, quite possibly. He's already picked up Torturer, so there's that. Rhapsody could also be taken out of the pool. They could also choose to get rid of one of those mid players, especially because they already have a Kraken, and that would make a lot of sense. And they do seem like they're going for more of that route. Flux being taken out here. Meanwhile, the Hellborn side, Bubbles, Kraken, and Torture. So like I said, already picking up their Initiate type hero in Kraken. Probably a Suicide here in Bubbles. Boxall plays a very solid Bubbles as well. And Torture probably going to be a mid or top support, either as the zoner or the second in the mid dual lane. And Hellborn's bans are Wretched Hag, Parasite, and Flux. So getting rid of one mid-type player as well as the Hag. A little interesting there. I wouldn't have imagined that Hag would fit this Legion lineup too well. Pharaoh almost never dual lane, Hag almost never dual lane, which would put NG Moon Queen bottom. You could tri-lane the NG Moon Queen actually if you pick up the third support, which would make sense, but we don't see that many tri-lanes, so I'm not hugely thinking that, that this could be what they're probably doing. Instead, I would imagine they're looking for more of the either jungle route where the Parasite makes sense, or the mid route where the Flux makes sense. So not a great ban on Hag, I don't think that it should make plenty of sense. Legion side, Tempest Keeper, Forest, and Solstice. They don't want Hellborn to play a jungler, man. They really don't. Legionnaire still on the board, obviously. But then there's Cthulhu Fent, which I think is allowed, but I'm not sure. And definitely try to remove as many jungle options as possible. So interesting. Clearly, Baguette Reborn not really interested in playing against jungle hero, and I can understand that because it looks like they're going for the dual support, as Hellborn is as well. So that's definitely what they sort of forced the other team into, and it's clearly worked out. Legion, meanwhile, picks up Gauntlet as their second pick in the second banning stage, or the first pick in the second picking stage. Words are hard. It's going to be a Gauntlet, so almost certainly we see that Gauntlet Engineer middle, and then Moon Queen with another support on bottom. Empath is still available. I think that's my pick here. And no, Rhapsody. No, I'm sorry, never mind. Rhapsody. I totally did not see that. Rhapsody not banned. Definitely the pick of Rhapsody is better. So Legion lineup looking real strong here. Good initiation with Gauntlet and Pharaoh. Strong burst damage, mostly from Gauntlet. 2 real powerful supports, and some good team fight here with NG, Moon Queen, and Rhapsody. Particularly strong push, of course, with Team MQ and Rap. So solid lineup here for the Legion side. Well drafted, and we'll see what the Hellborn can pick up to counter that. It will be the Ravener on top of the Andromeda. So probably going to be seeing the Rav Tort top, Andro, Kraken mid, Bubbles, Suicide is my guess. Could also see the tri-lane here, and actually I think I'd prefer that. If you select the Bubbles middle, Kraken in the solo short, and Ravener, Torture Rain drop into the bottom lane, you have one targeted stun, one AoE stun, and one directional stun. So, I mean, triple stun lineups are really powerful.
Let's get it
And
on.
considering that Moon Queen is almost certainly going to be in the solo short, or in the dual lane, in the short lane, having that tri-lane go against the Moon Queen and making sure to shut her down immediately would be really, really fantastic. Bubbles up against a Crack or a Gauntlet and Engineer in the middle should be just fine. With the take cover, he should be able to avoid hooks pretty easily, and that's really their only form of initiation is the Keg and the turret are relatively easy to dodge. They're just not powerful enough spells, they're not quick enough spells to get hit by them consistently. Plus, of course, you have the Shell Surf in emergency situations to get the hell on out of there. So, Hellborn's lineup, I honestly favor Legion's lineup a little bit. I think they're better. Obviously, the issue is primarily Hellborn is just a better team, I think. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen Legion before, but that's sort of my point. We haven't seen Legion before, and we've seen Hellborn before, so I'm thinking that they've got a bit of an advantage in that respect, and I really hope this is going to end up being a Shrine Lane and bottom. That could certainly be the case. They're sending 4 bot, +5. The Bubbles is lagging behind a little bit, but hopefully he will be able to catch them, perhaps looking for first blood in the jungle here. And the bigger issue is that Legion's lanes are so damn predictable. Like, we know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be the Rhapsody Moon Queen bottom. We know it's going to be Gauntlet Engineer middle, and we know it's going to be the Pharaoh in the Suicide Roll. Hellborn could run double duels. They could run the aggressive try. They could run the defensive try. Pretty much the only thing we know is the Bubble's going to be solo. But other than that, could be anything. Keg will hit Torturer here. See if they can actually get a Ball Lightning or something here onto Engineer. They probably have the opportunity there, but he's a little far away. And the Ball Lightning there will not connect, but now the chain reactions plus the Torrent and the Comet Stun. Engineer is in a ton of trouble. He's going to drop pretty easily to Boxel. And, okay, the other thing I hadn't noticed was Boxel's playing that Ravener. Lola's here I don't recognize, so I don't know if there's going to be a role switch or something like that, but that suggests to me that we're at least going to see a dual lane bottom and possibly a tri-lane. Yep, that's going to be the situation. So, I do prefer this. Like I said earlier, this is just what makes sense to me. Run the tri-lane down here, get Ravener a ton of farm, box out the Moon Queen, prevent her from doing anything, and they're going to counter with their own tri-lane, so this is going to be really interesting here to see which team can do better. Both lineups do have 3 stuns, and they've both, actually, Legion has 2 targeted, and they each have 1 AoE, and then of course the directional with Ball Lightning. A little bit hard to, it's not really targeted, it's not an AoE, it's sort of an AoE, it's called whatever, I call it a directional stun because it goes in a direction. So we're going to see some try versus try action down here, and expecting to see a lot of offensive behavior just because both sides are possessive of 3 stuns, or they do possess 3 stuns? Are possessive. I'm pretty sure that's not real English. But Hellborn already starting to gain some lane control here. And we'll see what happens there. Other mid lanes before this gets too crazy. Up top's going to be Pharaoh versus Kraken. Kraken should have a pretty good advantage here, as it's real difficult for Pharaoh to kill him, and Kraken with the CS ability of Splash, and of course the charge away should be just fine. Gauntlet versus Bubbles in the middle. I do favor Bubbles once again just because, you know, the take cover basically stops any and all hooks, and of course he has the burst damage to be able to turn something around on Gauntlet if the harass is significant enough. So really, I'm favoring the Hellborn in all 3 lanes. And Staccato Stun's there on top of the Keg, but the chain reaction will in fact hit too. There's the Comet Stun. Andro's still going to go down here. One more auto attack. They're trying to give it to Moon Queen, but Engineer just finally says, alright, I'll take it. So, nicely done there. Picking off Boozy. Or Boozin. Boozy. Keg Stun misses there. They're going to try to turn this onto Moon Queen, though. They've got the Ball Lightning Stun now. Staccatos are there as well, and they need to actually hit the second Ball Lightning. Now, Ravener's going to be in a lot of trouble. Comet Stun under Rhapsody there, but she should be just fine. Mana Battery there gets popped by Ravener, and he'll be okay as well with the health pot. Everybody potting up here with a couple of mana pots, couple of health pots going off. 3 in fact. Both mana pots get cancelled by Torture. Bit unfortunate, but they got a lot of that out of it anyway. No initiation on Torture, despite him stepping up quite a bit, so we'll see what happens. Up top, Kraken did charge away, so I think trying to kill Pharaoh as much as anything, and Pharaoh will pop health pot. And so far, Hellborn taking a slight advantage, not too much though. Middle lane, meanwhile, Bubbles trying to go for a kill here on Gauntlet, but now finds himself in a bit of a precarious situation. Gauntlet has no mana, so can't do too much. Bubbles can have a Shell Surf back up in 5 seconds, and Gauntlet now needs to be real careful about how he plays this, because Shell Surf's back, and dude, you're dead. Like, get him, Cracky. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we are going to see a kill onto Engineer. He takes the Common Stun, and the Ball Lightning and the Chain Reaction, just way too much damage. Middle lane, Gauntlet, you're in a lot of trouble. You do get the kill, but obviously Bubbles sacrificing his life for the kill on the Gauntlet there. A little bit of an advantage, I think, perhaps because he got the experience. He did lose about 60 gold over it, but not the biggest deal. There's just action all over the place here. 5 hero kills in 3.5 minutes. Always like to see that. A little more action. Bottom lane, Andrew has gone to get the rune, so they're not really taking advantage of this on the Legion side, as they do have the numbers advantage right now. And Fusen is sort of working his way back. Not really sure what his plan is. Stacking the Ancients, that's good. And we'll eventually come back to lane. Top lane, meanwhile, Kraken will charge Pharaoh back into the walls. The Hellfire is up, though, and that's going to prevent Kraken from being too aggressive. Splash hits for a bunch of damage, but there's going to be no kill there. Bottom lane, meanwhile, once again, maybe get Engineer up. There's the comment onto the Ball Lightning, and Chain Reaction's not going to come out quite yet. He's looking for the angle. Obviously, he doesn't have enough mana, as he used the Impalement instead, so probably should have gone for the Chain Reactions there over the Impalement. Might not have had enough mana for it. 135 to 115, so that was probably the problem. Needs to be better communication though there. And on top of the Staccato stuff is the Moonbeam, and Turret not going to do too much, so Torture will be able to get away. Not a lot of mana here on the Hellborn side on any of these heroes. And they're going to need some if they want to continue being aggressive here. Andrew continuing to stack the Ancients. In the meantime, Gauntlet looking for a rune, won't find one. As it's an invis bottled by Bubbles. Bubbles puts Skelfield down here in middle lane, doing a lot to Gauntlet. He's in a lot of trouble. There's as long as C, and Shell Surf will be able to finish him off. Gets the hook, not the Infernal Instability though, and Bubbles an easy kill. Just not too much Gauntlet can do about that. He needs to be the aggressor. The problem is, once again, the take cover, you know. You try to set things up with Gauntlet Blast, you just take covers that, and that's a major source hero damage gone. And then he will get hit by the hook at that point. Ball Lightning not going to hit. But then he can just Shell Surf out. Meanwhile, Bubbles grabbing the Invis, looking to clean up some kills here on this bottom lane. They've got a 4 versus 3 advantage right now. This is going to be pretty big. No Kelp Field, obviously, but the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea will do a ton. Ball Lightning to hit too, and just clean up there onto Engie and Moon Queen. Rhapsody going to fall as well to the Comet Stun, and the few auto attacks that are here. Going to see a port coming in from Pharaoh, but won't be able to do too much to save his teammates, as easy cleanup on the tri lane here as Bubbles coming in with a Shell Surf, and just excellent timing with Ball Lightning onto 2. And all of a sudden, Hellborn have taken a pretty huge lead here. As you can see, 4.5k gold, 4k experience, and this is just not looking great for the Legion side. Moon Queen at 130 gold per minute, and this is exactly why you run tri-lanes against Moon Queen. Pharaoh actually going to miss the Wrath of the Pharaoh, will drop the Moonbeam and the walls, so he should die here, despite the Ball Lightning out of there. A couple more auto attacks, and he's easily dead. So nice pick on a Voxel there, not really making a lot of sense why he was where he was, but whatever. As you were saying before, though, is, MQ needs a strong start. Like, if you shut her down early, she just doesn't recover all that well. And this is where she's at her most vulnerable in a laning phase, because later on she can just sit in her woods and take a bunch of stacks that her support heroes have set up for her. And they've started to do that a little bit here, I guess, with one. Probably need to be stacking a little more extensively than they currently are, but whatever. It's not like she's going to be able to take them relatively soon anyway, just because of the issues with stuff. Meanwhile, Kelfield going to go here into 2 here. Rhapsody and MQ both in a lot of trouble. Easy kill out of MQ. Rhapsody going to fall next. Try to chase down. Engineer will get the chain reactions, and he's in a lot of trouble as well. Turret actually blocked him, I think. I think he was going for the I'll block you out of here with the turret, which is a great play, but didn't quite work there. So it's clean up city here on the tri-lane for the Hellborn side. Port coming in here onto Ravener, but he's just going to be there, and now he's going to decide, yeah, never mind. MQ dropped a Moonbeam, but obviously not any follow-up, so a bit of a problem. So, I mean, I just love the decision from the Hellborn, choosing to run the aggressive tri-lane here against the Moon Queen, knowing that at the very least, at the very worst, they'll be up against tri-lane. If they'd been up against a dual lane, it would have been even better. And shutting this hero down as soon as possible. Pharaoh coming in here with the Wrath of the Pharaoh will catch and drop, and she's easily going to drop, as the ball lightning missed earlier. Bubbles off to the side once again with an Invis rune. And they're looking for yet another kill onto this Moon Queen. Let's get the hero blocks here, chain reactions, not going to hit. Staccato stuns onto Torture doing a lot. Pharaoh to take the ball lightning. And Torture will be able to get away with just enough. Gauntlet Blast actually going to be disjointed there by the Shell Surf port. And Hellborn will be able to run away. Bubbles off to the side still, trying to run like hell. Has the phase boots, that'll help him out quite a bit. Gauntlet looking for some sort of initiation once again. Sees Ravener off to the side. Does actually get the hook. Well done. Infernalist ability as well. Going to slow him down. And he's going to have trouble. Staccato stuns are there. And a Moonbeam. Foxwell going to drop here despite the ball lightning. That's not going to help him too much. Bubbles is also... yeah, he should be okay. He has the Shell Surf off to the side. And will jump into the river. Gauntlet can chase him down, but no hook for a couple of seconds. And doesn't have the backup anyway, so he'll be just fine. Top lane, meanwhile, we haven't even talked about this, but Lolas on this Kraken has just basically been free farming. 390 GPM, is leading the game right now in farm. As Pharaoh has essentially vacated this lane and allowed him to free farm. He took a top tower. He took the top tower down earlier, now working on the secondary tower, as Pharaoh is finally elected to come back and try to do something about this, but Kraken level 9 and 400 GPM. Going to be a bit of a tall order to address the Kraken all of a sudden. Ball lightning there will actually hit Moon Queen as you step back into it, and then the Stormblades help get the kill. Chain reactions under Rhapsody, has the Staccatos onto Boxel though, so he'll be okay. Not looking to reinitiate with the Staccatos on him. So that was a bit of a misplay from Moon Queen, trying to find the safe angle to get into the woods and not get killed by anything, but instead running right back into the ball lightning, allowing the port from Ravener and the Stormblade auto attack enough to kill her. So MQ just once again not having a great game, 150 gold per minute here, and this is not going to end well for the Legion side if they can't get her to, 300 GPM with the next 5 minutes, I think, and that's going to be a bit of a tall order. Not even sure if it's possible. And her recovery is going to be so long and so slow, and Hellborn already have such a resource advantage in both gold and experience that I'm not feeling optimistic about the Legion's chances, especially because there's the other factor of just, Tree knows what they're doing here. They know how to take a game like this early, they know how to build themselves a lead, and they know how to exploit that lead and turn it into a win, especially against teams that obviously pretty clearly don't have as much experience as they do, just because this is a team we haven't seen too much before, so, they're not as well versed in competitive on, and that's obviously a disadvantage. Top lane, easy kill there onto Pharaoh as he takes the kelp field and the release of Kraken. Tries to save himself, but walls just trap everybody. Not super helpful. Haste bubbles. Easy kill. Look at the GPM charts here, and yeah, not too much to do. The Legion side only have one hero above 200 gold per minute.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
And the supports on the Hellborn are now approaching that level with Torture almost out farming their Gauntlet. I mean, the only advantage really is that the Hellborn don't have nearly as much late game as the Legion, considering the presence of the Moon Queen. Well, maybe not nearly as much, but the Ravener and Kraken will help. But they obviously don't have the late game, I don't think, here. The Moon Queen is just too powerful. But the problem is this game isn't going to go for 45 more minutes. Like, the way things are looking right now, I'd be surprised if they lasted past the 15-minute CC mark. Kraken here going to try to get a jump onto Gauntlet. They do get him with the Aurora. Hook not going to hit anything even close. There's a
Legendary.
Just nothing. Shell Surf, easy kill. And now we're going to see a mid-tower push, so this should be pretty easy, especially with the illusions from Bubbles. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Box is getting jumped on with the Moon Queen ultimate, and he's going to drop thanks to the Pharaoh Hellfire. NG dropping the keg onto Torture. Nice stun as their turret as well. Last auto attack will get the kill. So they pick up a couple kills here on the Legion side. Obviously a very good thing. They do lose their mid tower. Bubbles here, perhaps looking for something as Rhapsody taking a lot of damage there. That would have been a kill if Bubbles had managed to shell surf Song of the Sea. Gauntlet here will get spotted by the ward, so Bubbles will be able to back off, and his illusion's coming in to do some stuff as well. Hook there onto Andromeda, will take a bunch of damage. Gauntlet blast there, takes the Comet Sun as well, and Andro is actually going to be able to walk out of here thanks to all the sun. Nope, Fusion dies to the rocket. They're going to get the turn kill on the Gauntlet though. Now Engineer going to be the focus. One more auto attack, he should drop. There it goes. Mummy Well's trapping a couple, but they're just going to kill the Pharaoh. Thanks to the release of Kraken. Obviously that's a very good situation. Chain Reactions just hits. Impalement will be able to chase down this Moon Queen. She's easily going to drop. The Shell Surf actually finishing her off. Meanwhile off to the side, actually, Ravener did finish off Rhapsody, so ends up being a genocide for nothing in favor of the Hellborn side, and I think you got to be eyeing that 15-minute mark if you're Legion. I mean, they have 8 kills. They're only down by 10, but the resources obviously are much more in favor of the Hellborn team. They have to know some of that, I think, just because they're like our highest farmers have 200 GPM, so we can't really be killing it in terms of the resource advantage. We might not have the exact numbers, but we've got an idea, and it's pretty clearly not in our favor. Nice try to hook there, it doesn't quite hit Rav. As Kraken picked up a portal key on top of his helm. Ball lightning there will hit Moon Queen. Pharaoh jumps onto a couple, but Andro tries to get somebody out of there. Actually ends up killing Torturer very possibly. Boxel also in a lot of trouble over here. Pharaoh will die in the meantime though. Boxel will be able to run away. And Comet Sun is there on a Gauntlet. As Ravener is apparently not interested. Not interested in chasing him down there. Thought they went that way. They did not. And both Kraken and Andro will be able to get the hell out of there. Ravener here killing some creeps. I think he's like, yeah, I'm dead, so I might as well just die to creeps or something. He might have been able to worm his way out of there if he had tried. The creeps aggroed. Not great. Gonna try to die to the creeps here. It won't happen. But Shell Strip there will catch Gauntlet and the Song of the Sea. Bubbles has a Codex. Didn't even notice. But that's a thing. So clearly Tree taking this game extremely seriously with their Codex Bubbles. Although Bubbles is 485 gold per minute, so he can get whatever the hell he wants as far as I'm concerned. Because they're about to drop under 200 GPM when they're only farmer that's even that high in Pharaoh, who's now, yep. So everybody here on the Legion side under 200 GPM, everybody except for Andrew on the Hellborn side over that mark. So at this point, they're basically a bunch of supports. Shell Surf there will catch Moon Queen, but that's it. And 4 heroes here for the Legion side is like, yeah, maybe we don't want to fight this. Wrath of the Pharaoh will catch Andromeda, and it's taking Mummy Wallace as well. Nice ultimate from Rhapsody. That's going to be a result kill on Kraken, and Chain Reactions actually hit a couple. Nicely done by Bubbles. Jumps in, gets a couple of kills, and the Codex helps finish him off. We'll see if they can get another kill on Rhapsody here. Has Shell Surf in 3 seconds. Off to the side, Pharaoh putting the walls down, trying to juke out here. It's not going to happen. Nice kill. Annihilation. He wants it, but he doesn't have the range to get the Rhapsody. Saw Humiliation too. That's pretty rare. Don't see that too often. Quad kill for Kraken and the Bulls, and he's 14-1-6, so I think at this point 2 more kills and he has the Immortal, because he got the kill on Gauntlet and then died. Now to the side here, Andrew going to get pushed right back into the woods, and 1 more, and he's Immortal. So
Massacre.
There's the CC. Yeah, can't let him have that immortal. Ball lightning will not hit. Charge back up the cliff though. MQ's in deadness. Torture might also fall. Yep. And there goes the CC. So this game in the round of 64 going to go to tree pretty easily, and they'll move on to the round of 32. Just not the greatest draft in the world, but this is what happens when you're better, when you're more experienced. You can just basically take these games. You can get early aggression and turn them into a victory, and that's what they did. And to be honest, you know, I don't think their draft was better. I just think that their draft was close to. You know, they're pretty similar, and they played it better. You know, they did like this. Either team is Moon Queen. We'll just try lane and kill everything. And that'll be how we win, and that's how they did win. So. That'll do it here. Tree moves on. Well played to them. Decently played to CBag. I think they had some promise there, some solid drafting, and we'll see what they can do in the future. But that'll do it.